You're welcome back to my channel. Once again, my name is Miss Bimbo, a Nigerian trained pharmacist and a UK trained care assistant. So I actually made a video talking about how much I earn as a domiciliary care assistant. Like I earn as much as £2,000 in a month. And then after I made that video, I went out and guess what? I met a friend on my way who also works as a domiciliary care assistant. And honestly speaking, it wasn't premeditated or anything. And we got talking and she started telling me her experience as a domiciliary care assistant. And so I decided to make a few clips of her when she was talking. So guys, in this video, I'm going to be telling you how as a domiciliary care assistant, I got the job, how I have been working in this field and how much I have been earning. So stay tuned. If this is something that you would enjoy watching, why not do well to like this video, share this video and smash the subscribe button.
Imagine that tomorrow it will be 3 months that I've been doing this job.
That experience alone counts.
For 3 months. I can't, like, money cannot buy what I learned. Yesterday, I met a client, that has dementia, and she was crying. Suddenly, she started crying. When I came in, she was fine, but suddenly she started crying. And with the experience during the training, I could talk to her, make her feel, don't worry, you are fine, everything will be fine, you're okay, you are not in a bad place, you'll be fine, And she stopped crying. I just gave her juice from the fridge. She drank and she said, thank you.
The fulfillment.
I felt good. Yeah. That's rewarding for me. That's rewarding for me. And that experience is something I cannot buy with money. If I see another person in that situation, I know what to do.
See, you have kid, you have baby, not showing his face. You have baby, your husband is working, so you're just picking very few shifts. With your very few shifts, you're still making like how much a month?
With my very, very few, like weekdays, I don't do more than 2 hours, 3 hours.
What time do you start working weekdays?
I start working at 6
p.m.
6 p.m. because that's when my husband is available. He comes in 30 minutes before 6 p.m. So I'm ready before he comes in and I rush up. So I return, I'm only able to do 2 to 3 hours. And with that little one I do, at the end of the month, I'm able to earn £700. Minimum.
Now imagine if you could ride a bicycle or if you had a car.
Yes. Imagine if I had a bicycle, I would do more, even on weekdays. I'll be giving more shifts. I'll be able to do at least 4 hours plus on a weekday. So I know I'll be able to earn more.
What's the rate? What's the pay rate?
Per hour. It's £10, £10.89. And I get holiday pay. It's flexible.
It is.
Working in domiciliary, from my experience, is flexible. Any day I'm not able to read, that maybe my husband is not returning early, I call them and say, please, can you just get someone to cover up for me? It's what I work out. I'll earn. It's okay. And any day I can do extra, I'll call them to add more. Give me more if there's available. They'll give me more and I'll earn more. So the beautiful thing is, I'm earning something.
You can earn up to 2,000 in domiciliary.
Yes, you can.
Let me take you that memory lane. When we arrived in the UK about 6 months ago, as a dependent, I can work in any sector. I can work whatever hours I want to work. So I started looking for jobs. I started sending out my CV. I didn't know how to tailor my CV that time, but then I still sent out CVs to work as care assistant. I didn't even mind whether it was domiciliary or care home setting. I was just sending out my CVs. And luckily for me, within the first 2 weeks that we landed in the UK, I got a job interview with a domiciliary care company. And then some of the people that knew about it started discouraging me. No, don't take it to domiciliary is so far edge. Hey, if you take it, you will regret it. If you rush in, just like a bad marriage, you're going to rush out. I ended up not attending that interview. And then after 2 weeks, we left that place, moved to another place. Unfortunately, again, I'm not sure I reapplied to that company, but they sent me another invite for interview again. Like, we die here, you must come to our company. So I just said, okay, let me just give it a try. So I shared the vlog here when I went for the interview. I was late. I sent them a mail that I would be late, and they acknowledged the mail. See, emails in this UK, I'm very sure it's like that's another Western word. It's like you're sending SMS. Since I arrived this UK, I stopped I literally stopped using my SMS. Now it's email, mails. It's like text messages here. So guys, that was how I attended the interview, and bam, I got the job. So I shared the interview question here as well. You can check it out. So guys, that was how I landed my first job in the UK. And up till today, that it's been 6 months and still counting that I've been in the UK. Guess what? I am still working in that company and I'm loving it. So guys, really, I'm not saying that the experience is the same for everyone. Yeah, I really understand that not two people have similar, or let me just say, not two people have exactly the same experiences in life. They may be similar, but they're not the same. So, guys, I started with 2 nights shadowing shifts, and I shall learn on the job. As the glory of God today, this company, Domiciliary Care, I can boastfully tell you that I earn almost 2,000. In fact, over 2,000 in a month, £2,000. Don't worry, I'll show you evidence. They will say you will talk, no evidence. We are going to show you evidence. So also, I got another job in the care home. To an extent, I've got a balanced view of what the domiciliary care setting is and what the care home is. So in care home, I got a job. And I also shared my interview questions on this channel. Go and watch the questions. Go and watch the video. So when I got the job as a bank staff. And fortunately enough, I did all their trainings, everything went well. And I started to pick shifts. You know, as a bank staff, you're not a full-time staff, but you get to pick shifts here and there, especially this period that the students have resumed school. You know, you have plenty of shifts to pick from. It's the nature of my husband's job. I've got to work only night shifts. Now, working 6 shifts in a week, you know how crazy that is? You won't understand until you actually experience it. So later on, I found out that they were short-staffed and they needed to employ more staff. So I walked up to the manager like, oh, hi, I don't mind if you employ me as your full-time staff. I went to show interest. I shot my shots. And then they were happy because I had already started working with their company. And she was like, oh, no problem. Then when would you like to start so that we can change your contract from being a bank staff to a full-time staff? And then I said, okay, the following month, you can add me the first Monday in the next month. And they were like, oh, fine. And then I sat down and I tried to analyze things like working in the domiciliary care and working in the care home. I tried to weigh my options and I allowed that to guide my decision making. Like, which one would pay me more? Guess what? Domiciliary care would pay me more. Yeah, isn't that surprising? It's interesting. Now, let me break it down to you guys. If you get a domiciliary care job, some of these companies have night packages. Some even do, live-in. Some do weeknights. So in my own case, I insisted because of the nature of my husband's job plus childcare. I couldn't do commercial. I couldn't do all this 30 minutes there, 1 hour there, 45 minutes here and there. So I made the manager or whoever interviewed me, the HR person, I made her understand that I could only work night shift. And she was like, okay, we've got one night package, although it requires you to do some training. And then she was like, okay, no problem, fine. And that was how, as a domiciliary carer, I started working nights. And for my working nights, I have to do 13-hour shift, 8 p.m. to 9 a.m. and no breaks in between. And then come to think of it, working in the care home, you work 11 hours, but you stay in the care home 12 hours. So I have 1 hour unpaid work period every time I go to work. And then I compared how many times I work. Initially, I was working 2 days. Then I started working 4 days in my domiciliary care. Now, you do the calculation. Having to work 13 hours for 4 good days. Then they reduced it to 12 hours, actually. So recently, I do 12 hours for 4 days. And then if I have to work 11 hours for 4 days in the care home. And then the care home being my second job, literally my second job, although not my second job. I have other agencies that I'm registered with that I stopped picking shift from temporarily. So guys, the tax that they deduct from this my care home job is huge. Like, it's like an emergency tax because they are not deducting any tax from my first job. So guys, I tried to weigh my options like, okay, if I pick this care home, even if I have to resign from this job, I wouldn't be making as much as I'm making from this domiciliary care. So I eventually rejected the offer. Even when they put me on rota, like, oh, you're already on a rota, I said, I'm so sorry. I cannot go on with this. I'm no longer interested. So, guys, in another words, not all domiciliary care jobs are that bad, especially if you have your own personal vehicle and if you have your driver's license, whether an international driver's license or a UK driver's license. It becomes really easier. It's not as tough as working in the care home where you're enclosed in a place and you have several people you're working with. You're so careful. One other reason many people wish to work in the care home setting is their access to annual leave, maternity leave, and some other benefits like getting paid double pay during bank holidays and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, in domiciliary care also, you are entitled to some benefits, although so many people don't know about it. Like in my own case now, I just applied for my holiday hours. In summer, everybody was going for holiday. I can choose to go for holiday and I'll be paid. Or I choose to continue to work and I'll still get my holiday hours paid. So it all depends on how many hours you have worked so far in the year. So some people got paid as high as 80 hours for not working, just 80 hours holiday pay. Some 70 hours. I'm sure some people might have been paid more than that, depending on how many hours you have worked. So in December also, we'll still get another holiday pay as a domiciliary care assistant. And if I get pregnant tomorrow, I'm entitled to my maternity leave, provided that I meet everything in their company policy. Maybe some would want you to have worked there for 6 months, 1 year before you get such entitlement. But for holiday pays, if you have worked up to 6 months, I think you are entitled to get your holiday pay if you're working in the domiciliary care setting. So, after all has been said and done, this is the reason why I chose to pick my domiciliary care job over a care home. So I still remain their bank staff while I'm working full time in the domiciliary care setting. So if you're out there, you got a job interview from a domiciliary company and you're skeptical, or people around you are discouraging you, go for the interview. After all, there's no harm in trial. And when you get there for the interview, you can tell them, if you know you cannot do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 15 minutes here and there, just insist that based on your circumstances, because maybe you have kids, your husband work days, that you cannot do community, that you would rather do night shifts. And I bet if they have night packages, they would be willing to, take you into their night packages. And mind you, some of these night packages are very flexible. As much as we have living, we have those as long as 13 hours, and you get paid for every hour that you work in domiciliary care, nothing like 1 hour break. Or you do 10 hours, you have 10 to 7, 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. So if you have children, if you want to do school runs, it allows you. If your husband work days, your husband should be home before 10 p.m. and by 7 a.m. you're back home, even 10 to 6 a.m. So there are different packages like that with different companies. Just, shoot your shots. That's that about that. I didn't know what to talk about. I just brought out my camera and, camera rolling, action. I hope I've made sense. If today is your first time coming across my channel, please do well to like this video, share this video, and don't go away without smashing your subscribe button. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in my next one.